Thanks. Good. Marty. Oh, I'm like, they're gonna bring us.
We got a car show.
There's the one. Huh? How'd you like them 22 years old and drove up to that thing for the first time? That's lies? You kidding me? That's lies?
Oh wait, can I not do this in here, Marty?
Fine.
Okay. I'm like, oh, sorry. So wait. This plane had multiple people, right? Because they had some of the guides was back farther and sat and was your eyes. It's not any of those, right? That you did.
No.
You know, from like, I'm trying to say, because when I worked with Major Don,
Yeah?
you know, he Air Force retired, but he was the navigator. He didn't actually fly. Did I use the right word? I think, yeah. So it was those, right?
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to figure out, is this,
This is the 52 here.
this is yours. All right.
This here is thinking about this one. This one.
1955. So I went into the service in '63, so it was already 8 years in the making.
Yeah.
1965, they took it out of in here. This was this about this U-52. They don't tell me, no, it's a B. It's a 52B. So that's one of the first ones that was made.
Okay.
Oh,
One
okay.
of the first one of the group that made.
So I think they got an engine on the ground, but the down one's right here.
Yeah, you can walk right underneath it. This is the engine that I went for. At that time, when I was just right there. Right here was the thing that controlled the whole thing. That's the fuel control right there. That's the fuel control right there. And these are bleed valves. They open these up and they get too much pressure in them. They can open them up like this. This starts right here. Right here starts from there on back. That's the hot section.
That's a hot.
That's the hot section.
So if you take it apart right
Right,
oh, so right there.
You split it right there. We never worked on the compressor. That's a 16-stage compressor. So there's 8 rows of stators and there's 8 rows of rotors. That makes one stage.
Okay.
You need a set of rotors and a set of stators. Make one rotor. And you get back right here. Get back right to here. This is where the whole thing took place. This is where the T-wheels were in here.
T-wheels.
Yep. Okay. There's 3 stages of T-wheels. And that right there. See, this here is different than the KC. This here has got some of the stuff out of the KC didn't have this. These here, what makes these really bad, right here is the starter.
That's a starter.
That's the starter. And some of the engines, I don't remember now, it's been so long, but some of them had shotgun starts on.
Oh, okay.
So just 52 could be sitting out in the thing there, bring the crew in, they could get on there, and they didn't even have to have auxiliary power come to it.
Oh.
They could start that engine right there and that'd go off and it just sounded like oh man, it was unreal when that go off. It just boom, and that's loaded with powder, and they send a thing down and it ignites it, and the explosion causes that to turn. It'll turn the engine over, it'll fire, and they can start the engine.
Wow.
Without having any auxiliary power come to it. Yeah, these right here, and right here is the fuel control, right here. That's the fuel control.
So you
right
could
there.
take this whole thing apart.
Oh, you turn it. Well, I took them all apart. Nail right on back, just the whole thing, stripped down all off that thing there. Yeah.
So what's this?
That's that bleed off valve I was telling you about.
Okay.
They can open them in there and bleed that off. If you'll see if I can find where it is. They got how there's in the hot section, you know, that they got the thing that like spark plugs in, goes up there at igniters. There's one on each side. I remember right, there was either 24,000 volts here or 32,000
Holy
volts.
cow.
And you did not want to mess with them.
No.
So when you take them off, and see, there's two engines here. See, there's two. You stand right, and that's what's on the B-52. There's two in each pod. See, that's where you get the 8 engines. That's pretty amazing. Oh, right here's the igniter. Right here, here's the cable. Right here. Right here's the cable, and that's a little different than the igniter that's on the KC-135 one. It's a little different. It's up on the top. The cable comes down from the top and comes down. This comes from right here.
Okay.
There's one on each side of this. Yeah, right here's the other one.
Huh.
Right here's the other one. And this is this right. Let's see what the other part control. The other part. Here's the fuel pump right here.
Okay.
That's the fuel pump right there. And it pumps that in there, then it goes into that fuel control, then it goes into that thing there. Each in there, there's 8 cans in there, inside that engine.
Say that again. What?
8 cans.
Oh, that's what I thought I heard you say. I'm like, wait.
We call them cans, and each one of them cans goes on, and there's a nozzle there that has 8 heads on it. And that goes inside that thing, and that fuel control then sprays that fuel, it atomizes it.
Oh, okay.
It atomizes it. Goes through there.
So it's burning the fuel right in here.
Yeah, right here. This is
That section right there.
and then it's called a diffuser cage.
Then what's this stuff coming?
Oh, that airlines. They got. I forgot what some of them were. It's been so long. You see, that's measuring that pressure coming out of the back of the engine. You see, the difference from this engine over to, even though it's a J57 engine, this is. The one on the other one had another back here, and it had for water injection.
Okay, so
So it had to increase the mass. It got more mass than put in the engine. They go through 3 ducts. They go through a divergent, a convergent, and a straight duct.
okay.
That's how they can change the pressure. So they go through and they bring it here and they'll squeeze it right down. Then they'll open it up here and squeeze it down again as the air passes through the fuel. And goes through the engine. Wow. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Oh, and
And this is one of those bleed-off valves?
Yep, that's a bleed off valve right there. And see, that's a little different than if you, and there's the oil tank right there, buddy. I'm telling you about the 16 gallons. See it right there? Yep, that's the oil tank right there.
That triangle.
Yep, that thing that goes up over the top, that's the oil tank. See, this one couldn't be put, this engine couldn't be put on a KC refueler.
Okay.
Even though it's a J57, because the outside of it is a little different.
All right. So that's just air coming? Or
Yep, that's just an air duct. Just an air duct, heat pressure off of it. You know, and the pilot controls that whole thing up there in the thing there. When you see this right here on the side, where that's the control of it right there. Yep, that's the control right there. That goes up and would be hooked way up in the cockpit to the throttle, you know, when you're messing with that. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I remember some of them. Not a lot, but a lot of them.
So that's some type of hose was there?
That's just another bleed off.
Okay.
That's another bleed off.
If you can feel that hose.
Yeah. It goes around. That's just a seal.
Oh,
That's just a seal. And so when this thing has got the cowling on it, the cowling's off this right here.
Right.
You know, they got the cowling off that goes around the engines.
Yeah,
And
there is on the other side.
there's one that's got all the cowling on it. That cowling all comes off here. You see where the cowling's up on that?
Yep.
And that can be taken off. But the 52, the KCs when we brought this out, now just here when you come to the plane, you can see all this how it's got to be hooked up. And the KC when it comes, the front of it, the thing, it mounts on one hanger. One hanger. I mean, two hangers here. There's one on each side holding it there. Okay. On the KCs, and then there's one in the back. So there's two here and one here, and they're thrust, and they're made out of titanium. The metal is titanium, and then when that engine goes, it could do this. From the torquing and letting down.
So what went in here?
That's a hose that will be hooked from the plane. It should have come down around. It should have come in here.
Okay.
And like I said, I've only changed one of these engines. Well, they got the help. Changed one engine on a B-52.
Okay.
Because I was in the shop. They kept me in the shop as soon as they found out I wanted to be on the flight line the worst way. They wouldn't let me.
Huh.
And the same thing, I changed more. I think changed like maybe 6 KC-135s.
Okay.
But as soon as they found out, seeing where I was from, and I go to one base, you know, when I went from Oklahoma to Thailand, you know, I was positive I was going to get on the flight line. I always wanted to get on the flight line. Herb Bartell was my friend, who was from Union, Missouri. He was on the flight line.
Okay.
But Herb didn't go to the school that I went to. He just went on the overall engine. So even though he was in engines, he got to run the planes up. You know, when you come out there, you know, you come out to the plane, you change, you put a new engine on, replace it, they crank them up.
So you weren't doing that, you were in the shop just
Yep, I was in the
rebuilding
shop building the engines.
Okay. I think they got one on the floor over here.
They got one on the floor?
Yeah, I think they might be one on the
I'd like to see, I wish we could find a KC so I could show you the difference between the KC and the Bomber. Even though they were both J57 engines, they were, the outside of them was different.
We don't have a KC here.
They don't have a KC?
There they got the cockpit.
Yeah.
Here they got the collar.
Yeah.
Is that the motor right there?
We're looking right here. I want to look at this.
Sure. That one looked like it was through a few landings.
See, there's wire in there.
Yeah.
So when it's a brand new tire, you could walk by it. You did not want to walk next to these if it had been landed a few times. That wire will start to come out, you know, be sticking out or rip your fatigue right, or rip your arm right open.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's stainless steel brads or wires that goes in them things when they make them.
I wonder if they took them off or.
They're wore out. The wire part. This one here is wore so bad that it's wore it all off.
Okay. Oh, not much better. Got a little more tread on it.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, there you run right there. You feel right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's sticking out. Yeah.
And Goodyear made them tires.
That's what I was waiting for.
Goodyear made them tires. I don't
Well,
think
there's a. There.
It's so worn.
But it's on the.
You can't see the name on it.
Oh. Okay, but Marty, you're gonna have to take it. My hand is numb. Sorry, wait, I can't wait.
See, there's a Honda missile right here.
This is the Hound Dog?
Yep, this is one of the.
Oh, a hound dog. Yeah, it's right there. It says yeah.
And I don't. They would mount it right in here.
Oh,
Right in here, someplace they were on it.
Right?
And see, when I worked on the engine, that's the engine right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that nose cone on that thing there was top secret.
Oh, so you weren't allowed on this end.
I was not allowed to come around to the front of that one.
You were not.
Because I only had a secret, and you had to have a top secret clearance to be near that.
Huh.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Hound dog missile. Then when I was at Clinton Sherman, they had them missiles on them. Oh, when I was over there, they didn't have any of them on them. They were just bombing. They were just running them as a straight bomb. Maybe once in a while one would have one on. He was
Okay.
they were using him for something else.
We'll go over and look at the.
Oh, there's one split apart. The engine's pulled apart.
Okay.
Now there you can see the oil tank on it.
Oh, so that oil tank went all the way over.
Yep, it's like a saddle. It was like a saddle. Went from both sides. Yeah, there's the refiller right on the top.
Okay.
Right on the top. Yeah, and there's the part. Right here's what I was telling you about the cans in the hot section there.
Yeah.
Right in here.
Okay.
Oh, they actually got this one. This one has got the compressor pulled apart.
Okay.
They got the compressor. This is where the other one would be split here, and right here. Right here. This row of bolts right here, and
And would you split them then?
I worked on them.
You would split them?
Yeah, I'd split them right here. Split them
Okay.
right here. We never split them right here.
You never split?
That's got the compressor pulled apart. Part of the compressor pulled apart. And we were not allowed to open them up.
Okay.
We never opened them up. Now this is an absolutely stripped down engine.